All right, let's talk about something I know a lot of you have thought about. We're diving into a piece of software called SRPG Studio, and man, it makes a huge promise that it can help you build the strategy RPG of your dreams. But can it really? That's the big question we're going to tackle today.
So be honest, have you ever been deep into a game like Fire Emblem? Maybe Final Fantasy Tactics? You know, one of those awesome grid-based strategy games? And a little voice in your head goes, I could do this. I've got an idea for a game just like this. You can see it all, right? The heroes, the villains, the huge turn-based battles, the whole epic story. It's such a cool feeling, but for most of us, that's kind of where it stops. It just stays a dream.
And here's why. The SRPG creator's dream. Grand battles, cool heroes, epic stories. But where do you even begin? I mean, let's be real. The distance between that amazing idea in your head and an actual playable game, it's not a gap, it's a canyon. You start thinking about coding, then drawing all the characters, composing music, designing the levels, and just like that, poof, the dream feels like it's collapsing under its own weight. It's a classic story, and it stops so many great ideas dead in their tracks.
Okay, so now let's talk about the promise of SRPG Studio. It's the tool that says, hey, you don't need to be a pro. This is where it swoops in, right? It shows up with this really compelling pitch that's aimed squarely at all of us dreamers. It basically says you don't need to be a professional coder. You don't need to be some amazing artist to make your game. It's promising to be the bridge that'll finally get you across that giant, scary technical divide.
And this quote, this is it. This is the core sales pitch boiled down into one beautiful sentence. This is the whole appeal right here. The idea that the two biggest mountains you have to climb, coding and art, are just gone, wiped from the equation. All you need to bring to the table, supposedly, is your creativity, your story.
So how do they say it works? Well, the workflow they promise looks ridiculously simple. Step 1, set up your characters. Step 2, create your scenario. Step 3, release it. And hey, step 4, you can even sell it. I mean, come on. It sounds almost too easy, right? Just a handful of steps and you go from a little idea to a full-on published game.
And of course, the feature list is built to impress. You can use your own graphics and music, import fonts and videos. It's optimized for Windows, which we'll get back to that. But you can also use JavaScript for advanced stuff, export files for teamwork, and even download assets from their community. So it's trying to be for everyone, right? Easy for beginners with the Community Hub, but powerful enough for advanced users with the coding options. On paper, it looks like the perfect tool.
Okay, but now it's time for a reality check. Because the shiny marketing pitch is one thing. The actual, in-the-trenches experience of developers who have really used this tool, well, that can be a totally different beast. We dug up a super detailed review from a pro game dev, and let me tell you, it paints a very, very different picture.
And this slide just says it all, doesn't it? Promise versus reality. The promise is easy to use. The reality from developers, the UI is absolutely not intuitive. The promise is create your game. The reality? Just trying to find a function is, and I quote, like finding a star in the sky. Wow, that is a massive disconnect right there.
And you know, the list of hurdles just keeps on growing. The documentation is apparently super poor, more like a glossary than an actual guide. There's no multi-platform support, it's Windows or nothing, which is a huge deal today. Devs say the systems are all tangled up and confusing, the code on the inside feels a bit messy, it seems way too expensive for what you get, and it doesn't even come with enough default stuff to get you started easily. Oof.
But wait, just when you think it's all bad news, the same developer who pointed out all those flaws says this, and this is so important. Still, once you learn it, for making SRPG games, it's a really convenient tool compared to Unity or Unreal. So, after all that frustration, there's a huge payoff. If, and this is a big if, your goal is specifically making that classic SRPG, and you can get over that brutal learning curve, it's actually better than trying to wrestle a giant engine like Unity or Unreal into submission.
So, the big verdict. Who is this thing actually for? We've got the dream and we've got the reality. What do we make of all this? We have this incredible promise on one side and then this really harsh, frustrating reality on the other. The point isn't about who's right or wrong, it's about figuring out who this tool is perfect for and who should run in the other direction. So let's break it down.
This table pretty much lays it all out. It's a perfect fit for you if you're a really dedicated hobbyist, you specifically want to make a Fire Emblem-style game, you're cool with it being Windows only,
And, this is the big one, you are ready and willing to climb a very steep learning curve. If that's you, this might be your golden ticket. But you should probably look elsewhere if you want something that's easy and intuitive right out of the box, if you need Mac or Linux support, if you're making a totally different kind of game, or if you're on a tight budget. It really splits the audience in two.
All right, your move, game creator. The choice is yours, really. But before we go, I've got one last tip for you. And honestly, it might be the most useful piece of advice in this whole thing.
And here it is. Simple as this. Wait for a sale. Seriously. Whatever you do, do not buy this software at full price. Remember how the developers said it felt expensive? Well, the data backs that up 100%. SRPG Studio goes on sale all the time. And we're not talking little 10% discounts. We're talking massive, staggering sales of 75 to 90% off. Just a little bit of patience will save you a ton of cash and make the whole thing feel way more worth it.
Which brings us right back to the central question. The tool is flawed, there's no doubt about it, but the power is absolutely there. We've seen that SRPG Studio isn't the easy, plug-and-play dream machine it's advertised as. Nope, it's a challenging, kind of clunky, and super niche tool. But buried under all those flaws is a very specific, very focused power to create the exact kind of game you've been dreaming about. So the final question really isn't about the software. It's about you. Is your dream SRPG worth the fight?